Hi, everyone. My name is Edie Summers, and my very special guest today is Aimee Bernstein. Thank you, everyone, for being here and listening. And so today we're going to be talking about energy mastery and the art of transformation. So, Aimee, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to share a little bit about Aimee's background with you. And so Aimee is a highly regarded transformational coach, consultant, trainer, psychotherapist, and energy mastery expert. As the founder of Open Mind Adventures, she coaches and consults senior and mid-level leaders and teams to reduce resistance to change, foster cultures of shared ownership, and discover new opportunities for success and catalyze innovation, engagement, and well-being. So most recently, Aimee launched the Women's Mastery Institute to support women in leading us into a more compassionate, collaborative, and equitable world. And that's very exciting. And Aimee's client roster spans global corporations, government agencies, nonprofits, and academic institutions. These include Chanel, Microsoft Latin America, the Port of Singapore Authority, Colgate Palmolive, the Ritz-Carlton, NASA, Children's Service Council of Broward, and the University of Texas at Austin. She is a thought leader in stress reduction and conscious empowered leadership. And her book, Stress Less, Achieve More. There it is. And that's what I love about StreamYard, Aimee, is that you can actually see the book the right way. Sometimes it's backwards. So I love StreamYard. People can actually see it. Yeah, there's Aimee's book, Stress Less, Achieve More. Simple ways to turn pressure into a fuel for growth, creativity, and high performance. This book has been translated into Arabic and Mandarin and was named one of Thrive Global's 17 most inspiring books to read. That's amazing. And Aimee received her graduate degree in counseling from Boston University and interned at Mass General Hospital under the auspices of Harvard Medical School. And she has also been listed in Who's Who in American Women. So Aimee, thank you so much for being here. That's quite the bio and background. My goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very impressed at all these companies that you've worked with in your book. And thank you so much for helping women become empowered and helping to create a more empowered world. And we're going to be talking about energy mastery and the art of transformation. And so, Aimee, would you be open to sharing a little bit about who you are and what your background is and what led you to who you've become today?
Sure. I was raised in the Bronx. In the Bronx, it's very, it's not woo-woo. At least in those days, it wasn't woo-woo, But I had spiritual experience when I was a little girl. And the first time I saw my guardian angel, and being from the Bronx, I said to myself, that's my imagination, not happening, Okay, I was just a little girl. Maybe I'm 7 years old or something. And then the next week, I see her again. So I said, okay, why are you here? And she said, to let you know that you will always be taken care of. And throughout my life, that situation went away. And, I went to school, went to college. I actually was a musician, a singer.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
I was discovered when I was 16 by my manager, and who was in the Tommy Dorsey band. And, so I was being taught about singing and music and all that. My first gig was in the riverboat in the Empire State Building with Michael Hampton, who was a great jazz musician. And then I moved to California and was in a rock and roll band there. And, so my thing was music and all of that. And I went off to Spain when I was 23, and I met for the first time an astrologer. Was never into this kind of stuff, And he said to me, "You're going to meet a master teacher when you're 28 years old who will change your life." Okay. Well, at 23 years old, when I got back, my father sat me down and says, "Look, you're going to get married or you're going to get a career." I said, "Okay, I'll get a career." So I went off and I went to Boston and I got a master's in counseling. And I had as part of the Harvard Medical School apprenticeship auspices rather, I was part of a group that was coached by a guy named Dr. Matt Dumont, who was then the Commissioner of Mental Health for the state of Massachusetts.
Wow.
He was brilliant, the guy, and he turned me on to alternative kinds of therapies. So he was into Zen, he was into biofeedback, he was into hypnosis. So I started to learn that way. Okay. Graduated from my master's, went back to California, and a few years later met a master 8th Dan Aikido master, sensei named Robert Nadeau. Nadeau was not just interested in Aikido, a martial art, and truthfully, I couldn't care less about a martial art. The idea of having my body thrown across the mat didn't turn me on, But this guy was pretty amazing, and I had an experience with him. I'll share with you. It was in San Francisco back in the late 70s, and there was a conference of different martial artists, and he was part of that, So people would go to different classes, learn different things about martial arts. And at the end of the day, we all got into a circle, all the participants, and we would sound, Okay? He saw me, he came into the room, he saw me, and he walked over to me. I had known him because I had hired him. I was the consultant to juvenile probation at that time. I hired him to work with probation officers. Okay. So he saw me, and he came over and he got into the circle and he held my left hand. Okay. And then we started to sound. The sound that came from him sounded like it was under the ground. Now, remember, I had a degree, a BA in music. So I was keen on music. Okay, the sound is like it's under the ground. All of a sudden, I sense that I'm under the ground. Now, not physically, of course, but energetically, I'm under the ground. Okay? The sound stops, and I'm in my normal reality. I said, that didn't happen. It happened 3 times. At the end of the 3rd time, I said, this guy knows something I don't. I'm going to go train with him. That was a lot of years ago. He's still my teacher. And although I don't do Aikido on the mat anymore, what I've done is I've taken that energy work and I've translated it to work and daily life, which he was very good at. He was, by the way, the apprentice to the founder of Aikido, and he was the spiritual apprentice. So his interest was how the human system aligns with the universal. He was a map maker, an inner map maker of creation. So he helped you move through different dimensions. I mean, he is amazing. I'm so blessed to have him in my life. And so actually in my book, a lot of the things that I talk about, is his inner map, and the exercises are things he taught me. So I just wanted to pass on to other people.
That is, wow. What a fascinating backstory. And the fact that you were first a singer, and we definitely need to talk about that. I mean, maybe on a side note, let's talk about your energy mastery and transformation, but maybe we can circle back to, I definitely want to hear a little more about like what happened in the rock band. I mean, everyone wants to know.
You can find us on YouTube. It's called the Fairfax Street Choir.
What's the name again?
Fairfax Street Choir. We would do,
Wow, that is so cool.
yeah, we did
What a,
front
what
act
a,
for Crosby, Stills and Nash, and we did front act for, we worked with the Grateful Dead, came in, did some of the guys from the Grateful Dead. And we did front act for Ram Dass and Krishna Das. I mean, it was
oh my
20,
gosh.
20 singers, 5 backup band, and 2 tap dancers. I mean, it was so much fun. So much fun. But
Wow,
anyway,
that's
energy.
amazing. Well, but think about, but everything really is interconnected, isn't it? And then when you mentioned that you could feel like that you, because you were a music major as an undergraduate degree, you having an undergraduate degree in music, you can sense that that vibration from your Aikido teacher was something more. And then moving into mental health. So let's talk about consciousness. And I know that you say that consciousness of the world is evolving. Can you share more about what you mean by that?
Yeah. Consciousness is energy. Energy has a frequency. When consciousness evolves, the frequency speeds up. And in the process, it breaks down the old for the new to be born. Clearly, we're in a period of breakdown. So, what we're seeing is war, mass shootings, more mental illness, political divisiveness, climate issues. I mean, the list goes on and on. All you have to do is watch TV these days, right? And you'll experience it. The good news, though, because these are challenging times for people, is that this is our opportunity for each one of us to evolve, you know? So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's an opportunity to evolve. I want to make sure I understand, because those are some really deep topics. So just to make sure I understand. So consciousness is energy. And then it has to break down in order to evolve. Is that what you were? I just want to make sure I understand.
what happens is consciousness has a frequency, okay? So,
Okay.
right? What happens is the frequency speeds up, right, as you
Okay.
evolve, okay?
Okay.
And in the process of speeding up, it's breaking down the old ways of being,
Okay. So
okay?
interesting.
And then what will happen over time, and it's not going to happen tomorrow or next month. This is a big process. We're going to be experiencing a different type of culture systems. Things are changing. We're already seeing that, with AI and whatever, but we're also seeing it with different groups. It's like, I'll talk about this later, but my Women's Mastery Group Institute, if you look, there are some other women's groups coming up, right? So, it's like the 100 monkey theory, right? When something begins to birth, other people pick it up too. They intuit it, okay?
Absolutely.
What is happening is that there's a center, right? Now, the center isn't center. It's here's male, here's female, okay? Right? And if you look at things like, okay, if you look at women's issues, for example, you look all the way back, women didn't have the vote. Okay, so here's the male and here's the female, not too much coming through the society. Okay, and then women get the vote. Okay, so now there's more women energy, female energy coming.
Right.
Everyone has male and female energy inside of them.
Yeah.
But okay,
Absolutely.
so and then what begins to happen is okay, so women's get the vote, but they're not necessarily in the Senate or the Congress or whatever it is. As things begin to change again, and maybe it gets worse for a while, and then it gets better for a while.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's the way it goes. It kind of bounces from one side, picks up the other, and finds a new center.
Okay.
It's not like the center is, perfection. No, we're in a state of evolving, and that's what we do on this earth.
Oh, that's so fascinating. It's almost like when you're cleaning up, right? Like cleaning up clutter or something. It almost seems like it gets messier first before that new order arrives. And That's is really fascinating. So when you talk about the word or use the word evolving, is that what you're pointing to
Yeah,
or talking
see,
about?
yeah.
Is that's
I'm
central?
sorry. Evolving is not change. It's not the same. Change is like
Mm,
something that happens externally to me. So I move, I get
mhm,
married, I get a new job, I get promoted. Those are changes that happen. Do
mhm,
they affect me internally? Sure, but so much. Evolving is it starts inside me, right? Because my
mm,
frequency starts shifting, starts to
mhm,
speed up. Okay. Now, an easy way to talk about this is if you think about it, there are many versions of yourself. So,
mm,
using
mhm.
me as an example, okay, there's little Amy. I wake up, I'm cranky, I'm tense, I'm like, ugh. Right?
I'll
I
relate.
may say, oh, she exists, I may say or do things that I regret later, right? I'm in this small little space, Amy, right?
Mm.
Okay. Then there's my usual Amy. I get things done. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty proficient at what I do. I'm pretty happy. I'm good, right? Then there's like an upgraded version of Amy.
Mm, mhm,
Things come out of my mouth. I don't even know where I found them. I didn't even know I
mm,
knew them. You know,
mhm.
I
Yeah.
I'm intuiting. I'm sensing. Um, I'm in this bigger space. I'm so spacious. It's like I'm just radiating.
Mhm,
When I wrote my book, I would do my energy mastery practices before I would write.
mhm.
I read the book later. I said, I didn't even know I knew that word. You
Mm,
know?
right, right. Yeah.
We each have that. See, when I go to do technology, software, I go into my smaller Amy.
Mhm,
When I
mhm.
go to do coaching, training, I get into my big Amy, right? My biggest one,
Yeah.
right? So every one of us has those different versions of self. Those different versions exist on different dimensions, right? So
Interesting. Mhm. Hmm.
my best friend Felice, when she gives a speech presentation to the CEO or whatever, she owns the room. She steps into that
Mhm,
larger version of herself. My friend
mhm.
Jeff, when he's driving his car, doesn't matter who's cutting him off or whatever. He is so relaxed. He's so open. He just owns the road. My mother, when she was alive, she would pick up a crying baby and her center became so strong that the baby would immediately stop crying. If
Mm,
you look at your life, you'll find that there are those places in your life that you are extraordinary. The problem is we are never taught how to make those extraordinary experiences more ordinary, how to put
mm.
it in daily
Love
life.
that.
It's what my energy master is teaching.
Amy, I love that phrase, make the extraordinary more ordinary. That is brilliant. And kind of aligning, so taking that high level frequency and first, is it also about aligning it with other similar frequencies, but then also being able to harness it on a more regular basis, like you were saying, so you can access it more? Or, I mean, I know we'll probably be talking about this down there, like for like when also like how is this when you talk about evolving, and I think you mentioned this already, how is that different from changing? I think you mentioned that, that's like, so we're talking about transformation, right? Versus change. But so is transformation tied to that frequency, like changing your frequency and,
Yeah, what you're doing is you're changing your frequency. And it
yeah.
doesn't it doesn't happen it doesn't happen overnight. And
Hmm.
maybe one
Yeah.
day you experience it, and then the next day, you're in your small place again. It
Hmm.
goes back and forth until it imprints in your nervous system. And
Oh,
then it becomes your
interesting.
norm.
Okay.
Even though it's your norm, it doesn't mean that you're there 24/7. You still
Hmm.
have your moments where you react. You're a human being, you know?
Hmm.
You still have, and
Yeah.
you'll have moments where you'll experience something even more extraordinary,
Hmm.
you know?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
so,
Yeah.
you
Kind of
know,
never ending.
yeah, yeah.
So,
The
and then are you going to share this, like how to imprint it into your nervous system, or is that part of your energy mastery series? Is that where
Yeah,
people start to
that
think
is part of my energy mastery series. But
about?
I want people to understand that there's a formula. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So in order to do this, to play with this, first you have to have an intent.
Okay.
Intent is not interest, because there are a lot of people, oh, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, I'm interested in this, you know? So
Mhm.
they do, you know, Lady Gaga, shallow, shallow, right? You know, they don't go deep,
Huh.
they don't go deep into it. You
Yeah.
need an intent. Intent
Mm.
requires curiosity,
Mhm.
courage, and commitment.
Mm.
You
Mhm.
gotta want it. You
Yeah.
gotta want it. It's like for me, I wanted it. There was some part of me that always wanted this. So
Mhm.
life kind of brought the right people into my life to kind of
Mhm.
lead me, you know.
Mm. Yeah.
The second piece is once you have the intent, you have to have self-awareness. So you need to reflect on what holds you back? What are your limited mindsets? You know, oh, daddy told me that I'll never be much, you know, I'll never amount to much. Or, you know, mommy told me, don't be too big, men won't like you. Or,
Mm.
somebody said, your sister said, oh, you're not good enough, or whatever your limited mindsets are.
Mm. Mhm.
Every one of us has it because when we're little kids, we're exist in a theta state, just like an animal, a cat or dog or whatever.
Mhm.
Whatever mommy or sister or daddy says, we take it in as true.
Mhm.
We don't have critical thinking yet. So we believe
Right.
it. And then we go through our life believing it unless you have
Mm.
this awareness to actually examine it and
Mhm.
say, is this true?
Right.
You're not
Right.
small. No, you're not, you know, yeah, you're good enough. You know, you're not broken, whatever. You need to take a look at that, right? You
Mhm.
need that self-awareness. So self-awareness about what holds you back, and then self-awareness about what moves you forward,
Mm,
right?
and I think that's where, and I've done. You were gracious enough to give me a session in your energy mastery, and kind of like I feel like collectively we have some understanding of, yes, like those limiting beliefs and how they're maybe imprinting our nervous system, but then the other part of the equation is what, not only do we have to challenge that, but then what is also, and what's going to replace that, right? Which is the moving forward, the transformation, raising your frequency. That part I think is less familiar to
Yeah.
people. I don't hear people talking about it as
Yes.
nearly as much. So and the nervous system is, as you and I both know, we both studied counseling. It's one of the earliest systems to develop in your body. It's like a sponge, and it affects everything in your body. So if you have those limiting beliefs, that's going to affect you on every level of your being in life, I would assume. So
Yes, yes and no.
yes
Yes
and
and no.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like there are certain teachers that say, operate from your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not Christ. I'm not Buddha.
And we may have lost Aimee there for a second. She may be coming back. It looks like her screen is a little frozen, so we'll give her a few moments here to see if her screen can unfreeze. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting conversation. And Aimee was going to share a little bit about how maybe those limiting beliefs are something that we are used to, and also some myths around limiting beliefs. So hopefully Aimee's screen will unfreeze. Otherwise, she might be rejoining us, so I'm going to give her just a few moments here. There's a chance she has to reboot her computer. We know how it is with tech. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and Aimee is in Florida. So actually, she's around that hurricane that's happening right now. That might have something to do with why she lost connection. So I'm going to give Aimee several moments here to try and rejoin us. And yeah, this is a really interesting conversation. And like I said, Aimee was gracious enough to give me a session with her on kind of learning how to expand your energy. So I definitely encourage you to check out her energy mastery workshop. And I'm going to give you her websites right now. And the first one is called womensmasteryinstitute.com. That's it's www.women, women's, so WOMENS masteryinstitute.com, womensmasteryinstitute.com. And then her other website is called openmindadventures.com, openmindadventures.com. So hopefully Aimee can rejoin us here. She has an energy mastery training system that she does, and my experience with that was really cool. She calls it, part of it's called the roar of the more. And it's something that a lot of us haven't really been trained in or learned about. It's kind of like about expanding your energy. It's really cool. So I'll give Aimee a few more moments here to rejoin. She and I both studied counseling, and yeah, the nervous system is, in my experience, is very much like a sponge. And I feel like collectively we've been working on a long time on not allowing those limiting beliefs to get the best of us. But I love how Aimee talks about intention and not allowing, kind of using intention in order to kind of shift that narrative. And I know that that's something that I've been working on for a really long time, and I think a lot of us have. But again, I think a missing part of the conversation is also, what do you do instead of that, right? Like, what do you do when you feel more free and when you're not behaving from those limiting beliefs? Then what do you do? So I'll give Aimee a few more moments here. And if not, I encourage you to go check out her websites. And again, there's womensmasteryinstitute.com and then openmindadventures.com. She has, I think she's back. Here she is. Okay, awesome.
It started to pour.
Hey, Aimee. Oh, I know you're in the middle of a hurricane out there. So I was just telling you.
We're not touched by the hurricane.
Oh, okay. Well, there might be, sometimes there are connectivity issues depending on, outside factors. So I'm glad that you were able to make it back.
Me too.
Yeah. Me too. So you were talking about how, kind of like limiting mindsets and the nervous system, like what's true and not true there. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I wanted to say was that you operate on different dimensions. So when you shift to another dimension and you're operating from your finer self, it doesn't mean that you don't have those limited mindset, but they're not affecting you as much. And when you shift to even finer one, it's even less that it's affecting you. Yeah. So does it absolutely go away? No, there are times when you feel small again, and it might come up. But so the trick, is to, when you start feeling your small self, you have a choice. You could hang out there and tell yourself stories and whine and be the victim and get angry and whatever, or you can just shift to your finer version. Where you're more comfortable with yourself.
Love that. I love that. And I'm noticing that more in myself. And I hope hopefully a lot more of us are, where you can kind of shift and get better at it. And it becomes easier to make that shift. So I love that. And then, so energy mastery seems to be at the heart of your work. Can you tell me more about your own experience with it and why it's so powerful?
Yeah. What's happened for me is it started with my Aikido experience. And I really got that I was an energy being living in an energy world. Now, I know people say that all the time, and you can talk to physics, and yes, physics, it says, yes, this is an energy world and all. But, and you go on Facebook and it's a lot of blah, 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 blah. But it's the reality of it is an experience. It's not just an awareness of it. So the other
Okay.
piece of my formula, right? I started off with intent, then you have to have self-awareness, but self-awareness in and of itself isn't enough. Insights are not enough to sustain real transformation. You need to be
Okay.
able to embody it. You know? So,
Right.
I mean, if it was just self-awareness, everybody's, New Year Eve resolutions would come true, right? But you need all three pieces. When I was a musician, I met a lot of music guys, rock and roll stars, blah 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 blah,
Mm.
and they had the
Oh,
woman, and they had the and they had the money, and they had the fame, but they weren't happy. I
really?
I lived with a Grammy Award winning pianist. Everybody wanted him to play with them. He was amazing, the guy. And
Yeah.
he was inside, he was a good guy, but he didn't have the self awareness. So you put him in front of the piano, and he was just this creative genius. You take him away from the piano, and he was this hurt little man. You know, he didn't have the self awareness to move through the mindset or to whatever, or to stay in that bigger version of himself. So we need all three. We need the intent. You have to really want it. You have to have the self awareness, but then you have to embody it. You have to experience it. And most people look at the awareness of it, but it's go for the experience of it. Einstein said all knowledge is experiential. The rest is just information.
I love that quote, and I do think that. So when we're talking about embodiment and also the nervous system, I can see how this is where people get stuck, because we all have different nervous systems based on how we were brought up and our experiences. And I think that people and everyone wants to feel safe, right? So your nervous system wants you to feel safe. And so in my experience, anything that's new, even if it's going to be empowering or, enlightening, if it's new, maybe that's a little scary for people, but it's I totally can see that the embodiment of this new way of being and inhabiting a new frequency and inhabiting that frequency more often than not, is the new challenge, isn't it? And also the new thrill, I would think, hopefully, for
Yeah.
people.
See, what happens is when you're going from one version of yourself to another, or when there's a job or task to do, energy comes into your system to help you do the job, and it comes in the amount needed to do the job. Now, we all know that, right? You go to sing on stage, you go to play football, you go to give a speech to the executives, right? Your heart starts beating faster, your legs might feel a little shaky, right? The energy is coming into your system. Energy. Now,
Right.
if you close down to it, tighten up, you're going to feel it as pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure, though, is the energy of change coming into your system. So you don't want to close down to it. You don't want to go into your head and try to analyze it and tell yourself stories. Oh, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. No. What you want to do is you want to allow it in. You want to welcome it. You want to open it. Yes, align and open to it. Yeah. So when you do, that shifts you into the finer version of yourself. Now, before you actually even start that process of opening, what's going to happen is you're going to feel some resistance. It's like you say to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym today. Oh, I'm too tired. I'll go tomorrow. Right? You know? Yeah, because here's the energy. It's pressing on you. Right? You have to cross the border. The border is from the old to the new version of yourself. You got to feel the pressure. Happens to all of us. Some days, I crossed the border, great. Other days, I don't want to, man. Smaller self is talking to me. Yes, so I don't say to myself, what do I want to do? I'd never go to the gym, right? I just say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a micro step and I'm going to put my clothes on and my sneakers on. Okay, yeah, okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the refrigerator and get my water. Okay, then what am I going to do? I go microstep, right?
Micro
And
steps.
yes, and
Yeah.
that gets me there. So it's like Peter Drucker is the founder of modern management. He said the
Mm-hmm.
first task of a leader is mastery or management of your own energy system. Then
Mm-hmm.
you orchestrate the energy of others.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's really interesting. So if it's okay with you, let's tie this, like, for instance, to, let's say, a woman who's in a leadership position and or a woman who's about to give a speech. So how would they handle, like, let's say they're feeling the pressure of performance or being judged, or if they're going to come across negatively to someone they're managing or people they're speaking to. And so you're saying just it's about opening to that
yeah,
new experience, or what? So something that for women who are stepping into leadership, what would that
yeah.
look like for
Well,
them?
this is true not just for women. This is true for
Mm,
everyone,
okay.
but more true for women because women, research says, has less self-esteem and confidence than men. But
Yeah.
okay, what I learned through Nadeau was an inner map.
Mm-hmm.
First, and they have all these components happen at the same time, but to explain them, I need to do one at a time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is attention. Where is your attention? If your attention is out there, will they like me?
Mm, yeah.
Not good. If your
Yeah.
attention's in your head, telling yourself stories, not good.
Mm-hmm.
If your
Mm-hmm.
attention's in your heart, oh, well, that's a little better, but not good enough. I mean,
Mm.
think of the country songs. Oh, he left me. I'm so sad. It's like,
Yeah.
you need
Yeah.
to be
That's so
grounded.
true.
So you need to have
Grounded.
your attention inside yourself and open to the
Mm-hmm.
room that you're going to speak to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
As a singer, you have to own the audience. You have to embrace the audience. Okay, so first you need attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So put the attention in your center, in your core, in your ground, right? So you need attention, then you need to center. I'm not here. Will they like me? I'm not here. Oh, don't intrude upon me. Don't say anything bad about me. No, I'm
Mm.
centered. I'm balanced. Okay.
Mhm.
Then I'm grounded.
Grounded.
Now, some people say, oh, grounding. You walk barefoot on the grass and now you're grounded. That's grounding. No, that's grounding 101. I mean, from the experience that I told you about Nadeau, how I
Mhm.
felt under the ground. Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
all the way down. You want to
Yeah.
go see people want to be high. Oh, they don't want to go down. They don't want to go
Mm.
into the darkness, but
Mhm.
it's in the darkness that you get reborn.
Mm.
The
Mhm.
deeper that you go, the higher you come back up. So
Mm.
they used to say that when a star went through the dark matter, it would die. Now they know it's reborn. Same as
Oh, I love that.
okay. So
Amazing.
attention, center, ground, and remember, the deeper your ground, like a tree in a hurricane,
Mm.
tree that stands is the one with the deepest roots, right?
Love
When
that
things
too.
come
Yeah.
at you need to have those deep roots. Okay. Now, once you get down there, now you start coming back up because everything in life is a two beat. Waves come
Mhm.
in, waves go out.
Okay.
You're in the car, someone cuts you off, you go, oh,
Mhm.
you have to remember the second beat.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, okay, attention, center, ground. And once you're really grounded, you begin to come up and it becomes spacious, open,
Interesting.
big and open. Now I have more capacity, energetic capacity. I can
Mhm.
handle more energy in my system comfortably,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, what I teach people are those exercises, little practices of where is my attention? Because
Yeah.
we all have habits,
Mhm.
I mean, my habit when I was younger, which is still my habit, just it's not as bad, is my attention would go out to others. Oh, can I help you?
Mhm.
There are
Mhm.
some people, oh, their attention is, oh, don't intrude, keep it here, right? So people that are more into technology, maybe they they're not as connected with their hearts or with other people, or this is not everyone, but some, they're more in their head, they're more closed here doing the analytical, right? You want to be opened in here and open. So, I teach practices for each one of those components. And ultimately, what I teach is how to shift in just minutes into a fine version of yourself. Because you can't do yoga practices in between back-to-back meetings. And you can't, how many people go to the gym every day? And even when you meditate in the morning and you're feeling really good, you get into your car, there's gridlock, you go, oh, I'm late for the meeting. You're not in the Zen zone anymore,
So how to shift back.
You need a fast way. I mean, if you're meditating, doing yoga, hey, keep doing it. That's great stuff, but you need a fast way to go from reacting to responding.
Okay. And I love that. And then I have a question about, so what would responding look like? Let's say you're managing someone or giving a speech and you get negative feedback. How do you manage that in the moment?
Yeah.
What would you, is it grounding again, or?
Yeah. The first thing that every mindfulness teacher says is pause. So you don't have to react fast, right? Now, if you remember what's going to happen because they gave you the negative, energy is going to come up through your system. That's the reaction you're going to have. Okay. What you want to do is in the pause, energy comes up through the back, over your head, down the front, right? Now, most people stay there. Oh, okay, I did it. No, you didn't do it. Because if you sense it, really sense it, maybe that breath or that energy only went down to your knees. Right?
Okay.
You're still not grounded. What you want to do is take another breath. And from the knees, feel the energy going down into the ground and spreading out 360 degrees around you. Oh, now I'm grounded. Oh, now I'm grounded. Okay. Now I can say to the person, oh, tell me more. That's interesting. Tell me more.
Okay.
Right?
I like that. I like that. And that's kind of one of those counseling ways of keeping it, it's a counseling tactic too, right? To kind of keep it neutral, but it's an open-ended question, and you're not reacting. You're allowing that energy to flow. But yeah, I wanted to ask that just because I know that women run up against these issues when they're in a leadership position, right? Like it's kind of that criticism coming in, whether it's real or imagined. I think it's something that women battle. And then Aimee, so maybe you've already answered this, but just in case you haven't or want to go a little bit deeper into it. So for people who want to grow, what is the biggest challenge that you see and how can they move past that? Or would you say that maybe you've already answered that? It's possible.
Yeah, I pretty much answered that, recognizing that, what you're going to do when you're resisting is you're going to procrastinate. You're going to tell yourself stories. You're going to distract yourself and get involved in other things. Oh, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to do energy mastery stuff. I'll do it later. Or, that's all the old blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I say, cancel. That's what I say to myself. Cancel. Now what I do is I change the channel. So I'm no longer listening to a soap opera. Now I'm in the Discovery Channel.
Right? You're full of metaphor.
Now here's my curiosity. Oh, okay. Yes. And that's my line to myself. Yes, I'm experiencing whatever I'm experiencing. I don't deny it, but I don't get in there for 20 minutes. I go, yes, and what's next?
Love that.
And here's the thing. In school, we're taught how to feel, emotionally feel.
Yeah.
But we're not taught how to sense or intuit, not at school and not at work. And now in this new world of AI, this is more important than ever. You need to be able to sense and intuit, because as a leader, you use AI, you're going to come up with certain answers. AI doesn't have compassion, it doesn't have sensitivity, and AI is not always correct.
Right.
You need to sense,
It's
feel
true.
in yourself, just something's right here, something's not right here, and begin to explore that, So, but even beyond AI, just the sense of tapping into, instead of just being up here,
Yeah.
I can feel, now I can be a full person with all my perceptions.
Yeah. And I love that. And then so being connected on a physical level with yourself and others, and also energetically.
Yes.
Because I think the energetic component is the part that we're learning is how can we kind of rewire that with ourselves and one another. So.
See, what happens is you're not just a physical being, you're an energy being, right? So you have an energy field around you. You're walking down a blind alley, but you sense someone behind you. You don't see them, you don't hear them, but you sense it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. It's about that sensing and intuiting that is going to get you into the flow.
Yeah.
Or the zone, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
right? So you're not reacting, you're not resisting, you're moving with that energy. Now,
love it.
With leaders, energy is a vibration, right? And it keeps moving out, moving out, moving out, moving out, right? You go to make a decision. What most people do is they say, okay, here's my decision. What they don't tend to do is sense and think also, but it's all of it. What is the ripple effect of that decision?
Right.
Say, okay, and what's the ripple effect again? The next ripple. So I'll tell you a story. I used to live on a lake, and one of the homeowners complained because the weeds were growing too high in the lake, and he couldn't see the lake. So the association and all its wisdom came and chopped down the weeds. Problem solved, right? No, because now what happened was the snakes came onto the land.
Oh, wow.
That was part of their, habitat, those weeds. Okay, so what the association did in all its wisdom was to get someone to trap the snakes and take them away. Problem solved, right? No, because now the rats came up because the rats used to eat the snakes, right? So now they came up looking for food, right? See what begins to happen?
Everything's disrupted, the ecosystem.
Yeah, you got to sense, feel energetically. What's the next
right.
level? What's the next level? What's the next level?
Okay.
I tell my team, oh, there's change that's got to happen. It's got to be great. Yeah. Okay. What's the ripple effect? Okay. People start thinking, oh, well, how is that going to affect my status quo? What is that going to do to me? What is it? You know what I mean? Yes. And okay. So you say to them, oh, you'll be fine. Yes. But will I be fine in 2 months from now? Or what does that mean, fine? And you have to keep going, right? To really sense what that decision or that change is how it's going to affect.
And there are a couple questions I want to ask you about that. So first, how would an individual transformation contribute to collective change, let's say in the world and also maybe in the workplace? And then after that, specifically to women in leadership, because we are also talking about not only energy mastery and transformation, but also create, how women can create a more compassionate and collaborative world. That was one of our topics when I first created this, our conversation here. And I can ask those again too, Aimee, but let's first start with individual transformation. Like, how would that contribute to collective change?
Yeah. First, before I get to how it contributes to collective, I would say that why energy mastery is important
Okay.
Is
Sure.
it
Absolutely.
prevents burnout and stress, because
Mm.
stress and pressure are not the same. Pressure is good. It's the energy of change coming into your
Mm-hmm.
system to move you forward. Stress
Mm.
is your resistance to the energy. Okay.
Interesting.
First is it prevents burnout and stress. And as we know, statistics say I forgot the actual number, but a huge amount of
Mhm.
seniors, leaders are burnt out. And
Yeah, it's on the rise for sure. Yeah.
secondly,
Absolutely.
energy mastery helps you become more creative and innovative. See,
Mm.
we each have an energy field around us, like I mentioned. Okay. So, soldier goes off to war. He has his arm amputated, but he still has pain in there. That's the energy field he's picking up. Okay. So
Yeah.
we have an energy field. We walk into a room, we go, oh, everybody's so negative. They didn't even open their mouths, but you kind of sense it. Oh,
Mm.
everyone's so positive, right? It's contagious, that
Yeah,
energy.
for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. But beyond my own energy field, there is the universal field. The
Okay.
universal energy is your first relationship.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
depending on how you connect with that universal energy is how
Mhm.
you're going to lead your life. You
Oh,
know.
wow. That's so interesting. Mm.
Now, Einstein said all ideas are already created. They live in that universal field.
Wow.
So if you think about it, when did you come up with your greatest ideas? Oh, just after a nap, or I'm in the
Yeah.
shower, or
That'd be a lot for me.
after great sex. You know what I mean? When you're so relaxed and open, right? You're not in
You're
your
in the
head,
creative zone.
right?
Yeah.
That's when these
Mhm.
creative ideas, it's like they kind of float by and you go, oh yeah,
Right.
I didn't create it. I just kind of sensed it. I picked it
Yeah.
up. So
Right.
energy mastery helps you become more creative and innovative, right?
Mhm.
Next, it's you become more empathetic and compassionate and understanding of other people's experience, feelings, and perspectives.
Okay.
You can sense them. You know
Mhm.
when they're in a bad mood or what they need or whatever.
Yeah.
Also you become the better decision making. So you go
Mhm.
beyond just thinking and rationale to sensing and intuiting the ripple effects. So that's
Mhm.
why it's
Okay.
good, right?
Okay.
That's why you need it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms of how individual contributes to the collective, as I
Mhm.
say on my website on Women's Mastery Institute, you don't have to be a politician, famous, or a millionaire.
Okay.
As you evolve yourself, you're going to influence those around you, your family, your
Mm.
associates, whatever, they're going to pick up your energy.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
actually had this happen last night. I did an energy mastery session with a guy that I coach who is uh, he's like a strategic planner for big name organization and whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
and he also has a nonprofit of his own that he's created. And he was
Okay.
going to talk to his sister to help to talk to her about some issues that had come up with his nonprofit.
Okay. Mhm.
He said to me at the beginning of our call, um, we always argue with each other and we react to each other, and it's always a difficult conversation. Okay.
Mm.
So what
Mhm.
we did was an energy mastery session. At the end of it, he shifted into this very peaceful, loving, joyful man,
Mm.
very solid, powerful,
Mm.
present, right?
Yeah.
He he
Presence. Yeah.
he he texted me after he spoke to his sister and said, "We didn't fight, you know?
Hmm.
It went really, really well. That stuff
Awesome.
works." You know? Because he was
What
able to
happened?
be okay with himself, and in that process, she picked up on his relaxed, his
Yeah.
center,
Mm.
his
Yeah.
whatever. So, you know, as you shift yourself, you're going to affect people. Now, as I
Love
said
that.
before, women tend to have less self-esteem and confidence, right? But
Right.
the female qualities are more compassion, empathy, collaboration, emotional, nurturing, right? And the male
Mhm.
qualities are kind of like self-reliant, confident, assertive, independent, courage. Those are those
Mhm.
qualities. As
Mhm.
you evolve, yourself, you get a new mix within yourself. So
Okay.
there's the man who's always been macho man. Now all of a sudden he's getting more comfortable with his feelings. Oh, now he's
Right.
a better man. There's
Yeah.
the woman who always kind of went along with people or, maybe argued, you know.
Mhm.
Oh, wait a sec. She found a new level of assertiveness because she's got centered and grounded, right? So she's got
Mhm.
compassion, but she also has a new presence that's more solid,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So as you change yourself, people will start to notice it and they will start to respond differently to you.
I love that. And I just had an insight, Aimee, that maybe for women, what assertiveness is or confidence is being grounded in your own power, or being grounded gives you a sense of more confidence and power. Is that part of it for women?
That's the beginning of it. So yes, you need to be grounded in your own
Mm-hmm.
power, in your own values. I
Mm.
do a little
Okay.
exercise with
Interesting.
people, women, to help them build their confidence. Let's you play with me.
Sure. Okay. Absolutely.
Just okay. Put your hands here,
Okay.
and what I want you to do is just sense, feel into your palms, into the area between your palms. Okay. Now, very slowly, frame by frame, begin to open your palms. And just keep sense feeling into your hands and into the area in between your hands. Okay. Now, very slowly, begin to move your hands together, but don't let them touch. And make sure you're breathing, by the way.
Okay.
And now, very slowly, begin to open your hands again. Are you sensing anything in between your hands?
Yes, absolutely. I can feel the energy, and actually it's harder to close than open. Once I've opened, they want to I can feel that energy wanting to I can kind of feel where I can hold the energy, and my wish is that the energy was bigger, if
Okay,
that makes sense.
okay, now hold on a second. So you say, okay, you're feeling energy. For those people who don't understand what you're feeling, what
Hmm.
exactly are you feeling?
It's kind of like it has weight to it. It has like an electrical charge to it.
Yeah,
It has like a mass to it. So it's not
yeah.
empty air.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
some people say it's magnetic. There's like a
Mm-hmm.
magnetism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people say,
Yeah.
oh, it's like an accordion, right? Opening
Mm,
the accordion,
I like
right?
that.
You
Yeah.
know, okay. Some people say, oh, I feel some heat.
Mm-hmm.
Some people
Yes.
say, oh, no, I feel cold. Yes, both of those can be true, right? Now, some people say, oh, it's tingling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As you do it, keep playing with me. As you do it, sense, feel your fingertips, the energy coming out your fingertips. And
Mm-hmm.
let the force be with you, right?
Right.
Okay, and open your hands. Let your hands open even bigger, right? Now slowly close them, but don't let them touch. Keep breathing. Now this time, open them as far as they want to go, as far as you can sense, feel, still feel the energy in between your hands.
See, mine's about right here, right
Okay,
now.
okay, just feel it. Yep, just feel it. Stay with it. Stay with
Okay.
it. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is to sense, feel how big your presence is. So
Yeah,
the presence is like the circle around you.
that's bigger. That's bigger. But this is smaller.
Yeah. So when you're over here, as you open the energy, your hands,
Yeah.
you feel a bigger presence, 360 degrees around you. Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
what
Yeah.
what I say to people, I show them this exercise as you open, right? you feel more energy, you feel more present. And if you ground, you will feel more confident.
Okay.
We used to, when I worked with the senior team of Chanel R&D,
Oh, it's amazing.
and the scientists would go from one meeting to another, right?
Mm-hmm.
Senior team. And,
Yeah.
they would be caught up in their heads about this idea or that idea. And they'd come to our meeting and they weren't totally present, right?
Yeah.
So what I said to them was, sense, feel the energy in your hands, because what that
Yeah.
will do is get you out of your head
Grounded.
into your body, embodied.
Got it. Okay.
And I said to them, now you can't do that in certain meetings. You can't do that in the nuts, right? But what you
So
can
funny.
do is under the table, you can do it,
Okay.
right? And they
Okay.
started doing
Yeah.
that. And as they
Okay.
did it, you can still listen, you can still talk when you're doing it,
Yeah.
you can sense, feel, and also talk and think at the same time,
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. That's a great tip, Aimee. Oh,
So
go ahead.
that's how I say to people, one of the things I show women to become more confident. Now, it's
Yeah.
not going to happen the first time you play, but
Yeah.
as you keep doing it, after a while, you'll get used to being more spacious.
Okay. More spacious, right? Because I feel like women are working on giving ourselves permission to take up more space. That's been kind of a collective conversation for a while, but maybe there's not an understanding of how to do that. And then
Mhm.
I had a question, Aimee, before we talk about your energy mastery series. Is I've seen leaders lately, I can't really demonstrate on the screen too well, but maybe I have to stand up for this. They're going like this as they're talking. They're holding their hands down low. Like, are they grounding when they're doing that? Do you know what I mean? Like these are leaders that are usually sitting and their hands are like this. And I'm wondering if that's like a way that they're even unconsciously grounding themselves or
I
holding the energy. I don't know. I just wonder if you had any thoughts about that.
I can't speak for somebody else,
Yeah.
and what they are, but I do know, if you are pointing your hands down, if you're in
Mm-hmm.
your hands, because you
Mm-hmm.
can do that with your body and still be in your head, coming from your head. It won't
Mm-hmm.
mean anything. But if you can sense, feel into your hands, if
Okay.
they're doing that and they are doing it from their center,
Yeah.
right? The center, the hara, the tanchian, which is a few inches below your belly button.
Yeah.
Now you are breathing into your lower belly, not just
Mm-hmm.
your chest, right? You're breathing into your lower belly, you're going to get more relaxed. Your butt will go
Okay.
into the chair more.
Okay.
Oh,
That
oh,
makes
you
sense.
just feel the energy going down your feet, your legs, right? So, it's
Yeah. Okay.
it's just little tools, but the basic idea is to sense, feel, whether you hold your hands this way or whether it's to sense, feel. That's the
Yeah.
thing. That's the thing that's so beautiful. You can take yourself anywhere. You
Hmm.
don't have to use that technique or this technique. All you need to do is to sense, feel your energy
Okay.
in your body as you sense, feel, and your intuition will start flaring up.
Okay.
The world will
Yeah.
become bigger. Your confidence will become bigger.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so these are such great tools and advice and wisdom. And so Aimee, could you share more about your energy mastery series or program, and also how can people start to work with you, get in touch with you, things like that?
Yeah, thank you. I run a series called The Roar of the More. It's an 8-week series, and each week is an hour and a half. And what you get in the series is an hour and a half each week of training and coaching. Then you also get a half hour of one-on-one coaching with me, right? Then you're going to get an Enneagram assessment. Enneagram is a personality tool, right?
Okay.
So you assess your personality. Then you're also going to get a meditation, a guided embodied meditation. Okay.
Mm.
So the way it works is the first week we do an NLP exercise.
Mm.
neurolinguistic programming, where you don't just imagine or visualizing isn't enough, you know?
Mm.
You need to embody, right? So we're
Yeah.
going to do a process where you're actually going to sense, feel who you're becoming. Who is that
Mm.
person in you that wants to emerge? You'll feel,
Mm.
you got to feel that person, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And you got to sense the qualities. Then we're going to, week 2, we look at the Enneagram. What's your personality type? What are the biases and boundaries of your personality? What's holding you back? What's leading you forward? The
Mm.
third week, we talk about, okay, you're going through this transformation. It has different stages of it. So you're feeling, oh man, I just want to die. I'm just sick of this. Yes, you're in the right place. It doesn't mean you're supposed to take a gun to your head. The smaller self is dying. That's what
Mm.
you're hearing,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
So that the new one can be reborn. You need to
Interesting.
understand those that map, those stages to make
Yeah.
your transformation easier.
Yeah.
Then we talk about the inner map, attention. We do centering exercise, grounding exercise, spaciousness exercises. Then we talk about the limited mindsets that are holding you back. And I give you a cognitive behavioral approach to change those. And I
Awesome.
also do an energy approach to change those. I
Wow.
don't do hypnosis because I don't want to trigger a trauma and then you leave and you got the trauma. You know, I don't that's just that integrity, right? So the way that I do it is a safe way for you to
Mm.
feel
Okay.
trauma.
Awesome.
And then last, what we do is I teach you how to shift into a finer version of yourself in minutes.
Mm.
So
Awesome.
I'm going to do another series, probably in the end of September or the beginning of October. Uh,
Okay.
you want to, so the right dates aren't on the website yet. I'll probably put them on this,
Mm.
but
Okay.
if you want to learn more about it, there's a video and there's, each session has a description. Go to
Awesome.
www.openmindadventures, that's with an S.com. And you'll
Awesome.
see in the menu bar the more of the more.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool, Amy.
The other thing that I'm offering, if this appeals to you, in my Woman's Mastery Institute on September 9th, I'm doing a 1-hour process of managing anger in the workplace. So
Mm.
managing your own anger
Mm.
and managing a teammate or a subordinate's
Mm.
anger, how
Mhm.
you actually do that in a way that that creates rapport.
Mhm. Awesome.
So we look at anger not just as an emotion, but as an energy, right?
Okay.
We're going
Yeah.
to master that too.
That is so great, Amy. Well, so
And oh,
oh,
excuse me, I'm sorry. The website is www.women's with no apostrophe, womensmasteryinstitute.com. Thank
very cool. Well, and I'll have those. Yeah, when we're thank you so much to everyone who's listening live, and we'll share the replay, and I'll put those links up on the replay too, so you can click on them that way. So this replay will be available on LinkedIn, YouTube, and I'll be sharing it on Facebook, and so it'll be a lot of different places on the web. So you'll definitely be able to find the links on LinkedIn and YouTube for sure. So you can just click on them. So thank you, Amy, for being here. And are there any final thoughts or takeaways that you want to share with people today?
Yeah, the one thing I forgot to tell you is my book, Stress
Oh,
Less,
yeah.
Achieve More. Yeah, that's available on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, any big retailer. That
That's
has it.
awesome.
Yeah, so you can get that, and it has practices for beyond talking information.
Yeah.
Each chapter has individual practices, energy practices, and also team practices to
Oh,
help you deal with
wow.
pressure and stress. You know, um, and as far
That's
as
amazing.
ending, ideas is, you know, when you change yourself, you change your world.
Mm,
You evolve
I love
yourself
that.
to the world. So, to do that, you need the eyes to see, the ears to hear. You need the curiosity, the courage, the commitment. And
Mm,
I know that not everybody will want to do that. Some people say, "Oh no, I just want money." Okay, but like the rock and roll guy who had the money, he wasn't happy.
Hmm.
So if you learn to shift your energy,
Mm-hmm.
not only become more comfortable with yourself and the world, you can also attract what you want, be it more
Wow.
abundance, be it more relationships, be it
Love that.
whatever peace of mind, whatever it is you want. So energy mastery is the road to all that you seek.
I love that. And it kind of reminds me of the same frequency attracts the same frequency,
That's right.
right? So
That's
that's another a motivation to kind of up your game, and so many things to think about. And thank you so much, Aimee. I really appreciate it. And
You're very
thank you
welcome.
again
Thank you.
to everyone for listening. And so look for the replay, everyone, if you want to click on the links. At least, I'll definitely be putting the links in the replay. So again, those websites are womensmasteryinstitute.com and openmindadventures.com. And I'll put those links in the replays on LinkedIn and YouTube and probably other social media sites. So thanks again, everyone, for listening. And thank you, Aimee, for being here.
Oh, thank you, Edie. I really appreciate your presence. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon.